Hi, it's me, Ingrid INFP, and I'm at my grandfather's house. I'm on holiday, and I'm getting away from everybody because I'm in church, and I feel I need to just recharge a bit. I have a small family, and yet it's too much for me. And I wanted to do an update because all the other videos that you've seen from during my holiday have been on schedule. So by the time you're seeing this video, I'll probably be back to work again. But I wanted to talk about TI and TE and how, and I'm going to use an example of something that happened at my work. I talked to my INFJ friend about this, and since he uses TI, he kind of laughed at the situation because my inferior TE is very different from the way that he thinks. But so there's a doctor at my work. We will not name this person. This doctor is kind of a pain. Well, I find that he's kind of a pain. And he was the only specialist doctor at my clinic. The other doctors were junior doctors. During the summer, he was there. Well, it was 2 weeks where I had to deal with this guy. And we don't think about stuff in the same way. I suspect that he is an TI user. I don't know what type he would be. If he's FE first or if he's TI first, I suspect that he's something like an INTP, ENTP, I don't know. ESTP? I don't know. ISTP. A TI user. And I had a patient who had high blood pressure. Very high blood pressure. And so I wanted to know what medication I should put in, you know. And I had a very TE efficiency, you know. I just want to know what to give this person. And so I went and I presented the case to the doctor. I told him about what all the risk factors this person had, what conditions this person had, what I thought I would have done, and if he had any suggestions. And then he's like, okay, well, what do you think? And I said, well, I've already told you what I think. I think that this person should probably be put on some medicine. I don't know which medicine though. I can say that I'm juggling between two of them and whatever. And he said, well, let's look at the risk factors for blood pressure. And let's see if he needs a medicine. I said, well, isn't it obvious that he kind of needs a medicine? His blood pressure is super high. And I think that the other doctors, if I'd asked any other doctor, they would have said, well, like they'll say, well, this medication is a little bit better than this one for in this case, or something like that. And then I'd be like, done, you know, efficiency. No need to think too much about it. Just do something, and then go to the next patient. You know, that's kind of how TE doctors who use TE do things. And in general, yeah. But he was a TI user, so he what's good about this guy is that he's really into doing your own research, into looking at papers, looking at the latest, the numbers needed to treat to figure out what are the best treatments, what are not the good treatments, should a patient have any medication at all, what is a percent that's of success of different things. So, but that wasn't the kind of answer that I wanted at that time. I wanted like a quick answer so that I could give the patient something and then like he could go home, you know. But he gave me a paper instead. I thought, okay, well, I'm open to learning new things. But so he showed me the paper, and the paper had, at the top, it had risk factors for blood pressure medicine, for high blood pressure. And at the bottom, it had different categories of, and if depending on which category you were in, depending on how high risk of blood pressure you had, what you could think of doing approximately, like put medication or not. But I asked, well, how do you know in which category these people are in? Because I don't know how to calculate the numbers needed to treat of each person. It's basically like, he was just saying like, well, smoking, there was no correlation between smoking. It didn't say like smoking gives you 10% risk of having high blood pressure and that you need medication for. It just said like smoking is a risk factor, and if you are at a 10% risk, then you should put medication. There was no link in between that, and I couldn't figure out the link. I needed like a calculator kind of thing, like a template, a screen, a way to diagram, a flow chart, something like that. I needed something like that, and instead this chart like made no sense to me, and I just wanted to, okay, the church bells are ringing. I just wanted to get to an answer quickly. I didn't want to have to think this hard. In the end, he just said, well, figure it out, you know. And it's kind of a TE frustration of TI, basically. It's like, I don't want to have to do all that extra work of thinking and looking at all these statistics and stuff and figuring out the way to do it. I want to come to an answer quickly, and so that I don't need to think that much. I want to find an efficient way to do it so that I don't need to think. And I think that's a very TE way of seeing things. So my INFJ friend, when I told him about that, he kind of laughed. He said, well, you need to integrate this into your own framework, into your own template. You don't need as a TE user, I need pre-existing templates to like be able to think. So I guess that as a TI user, maybe it's useful to be able to get this extra information and figuring it out on your own. But for me, I need to have a template that already exists, and then I can follow that. And it doesn't mean that I'm stupid for not being able to logic my way through things. It just means that I work in a different way. So in the end, I had to just guess a medication that could have worked, you know, and I gave that to the patient. And I think it worked. It wasn't that dangerous of a procedure that I did. Most people don't die because of that kind of problem. So I felt confident in doing this on my own. But I did hope for another kind of help than what I got. So that is the difference between TI and TE. I do like that this doctor is really into not believing just everything that you say, and about questioning things, doing research and stuff. I do like that. But you can't expect me to do all that logical framework stuff in my head that INTPs can. It's hard for me. And I can try, but the pre-existing framework that he has in his head does not exist in me. My framework is just my emotional framework. I don't have the TI framework to be able to think in that manner easily. For him, it's probably very easy to incorporate new research and stuff into his templates, and to figure out things on his own. But for me, it's like I need to have an external template and use that. I did talk to my INFJ friend, and he said it's less of a template, because we were talking about, what was it? He talked about something called crystallized knowledge, as opposed to liquid knowledge? No, I don't know. It was an intuitive kind of knowledge. And he said that, well, crystallized logic or knowledge is stuff that you build over time. It's a database of stuff, and you use the templates that are, and once you know a lot of templates, then you can figure out new templates. And that's something that I do a lot. Well, in an intuitive or not crystallized kind of fluid kind of intelligence or knowledge is where you can basically be thrust into any kind of situation and not need a template. So yeah, the church bells are going again. And so it's difficult to deal with when there's such a difference in the way that we perceive the world and the way that we figure things out. But it was just an interesting example of how type manifests in misunderstandings at my work. And I see that my ESFP junior doctor colleague also has trouble with this guy, because she uses FI and not TI. She uses TE as her third. So me and my ESFP colleague, we are using the FI-TE axis, while this other guy is using a TI-FE axis. So that's what I had to say on the topic.